Alright. We replaced the wire on the main plug to the rheostat, and now it's time to get the wire for the motor and the lamp taken care of here. There is a small electrical box on the bottom of the motor, and inside this should be just a... oh, there's a contact on the motor. That is fantastic. What a clever design. So, we can set the motor aside and just focus on wiring this box properly. So here is the bypass wire that goes straight up to the lamp, and then two of these wires, one is a motor connection and one is a common, and that common goes and connects here to the lamp, and that is the top side of this connector. Oh good, these screws come all the way out. That's nice, because the other thing about this... okay, brief interruption. I don't know how I will deal with the that interruption and the footage interruption here, but as I was saying, the screws are coming all the way out, which makes this a little easier. This cloth insulated wire is the old stuff. Is, you know, literally fabric on and then just kind of covered in tar and wrapped in fabric. And, so it's wire, tarred, and then fabricked. And this was a very nicely done plug, and the top part is where the through connection went, and the bottom side was the motor only connection, and then there's a bypass wire. So in this orientation, I will try to remember that. From the way this is set up, I don't think that would matter, which is clever. As long as you put the correct wires in the plug here, this socket on the side of the motor, I don't believe it matters which order, as long as one of these is a common and one of them is the power. It may affect the direction that the motor turns, depending on how the motor is wound. That might be the secret. Anyhow, I am going to clean this out though, because it's full of all kinds of gross crust from this. So we'll measure this wire very carefully once we get it disassembled and get it set up to go back in. So this, for the socket, there's a plastic rubber piece that's threaded into the back of the socket, and am I gonna have to pop this socket apart? I think I'll have to pop this socket apart. Okay. First things, we'll see about take our clamp off here. This is our bracket, and the bracket does hold the shade on the there, and then let's sometimes these switch knobs untwist and then you can push the plug through the top of the socket, but that's not happening here, so we'll need to push work our way in carefully at this crimp, and then there's another matching crimp here, there, but that little pop there was enough, and now we've got access to the plug. Do we have access to the, nope, we don't have access to terminals yet, so, but that crimp is what held this top plug on, and then there's a grease impregnated paper here, so that's starting to, that's in good shape. Okay, so this greased paper provides the insulation to this metal housing, otherwise the metal would short these two connections out. And we're going to have to wash all this up before I put new wire in here, but all we need is for these wires to be off of here so I can measure them to replace them. So that's the other side of the switch. Okay, I was like, I popped the screw out and I turned it when I wasn't looking, and I was like, what is going on in that? That is the switch. Okay, but the switch goes either way, which is nice. There's the screw holding it in, and our screws on that connection, and as we go here, this is just falling apart. There's another of that impregnated paper insulation in here, so this is, we'll have to wipe this off. You can't wash it, of course, because it's paper, but I'm going to try and get some of this gross grease off of here before we put it back together. And then when I put the wires in, I will probably carefully clip a piece of electrical tape to wrap around this piece here to provide a little better modern insulation on that. But for now, we've got this apart. As you can see, the wire is just all the insulation and the things are disintegrating off of it. So it definitely needs replacing, because every bit of it is showing it's 95 years old. Oh yeah, and then this rubber grommet from the back of the this rubber grommet from the back of the light fixture is also disintegrating because it's 95 years old, but we'll see if we can keep that preserved. This is the rubber grommet that went through the motor bracket, and I'm gonna clip our common wire. So again, we're replacing all this wire and we just need it to be the right length. We don't need to preserve but all right. Yeah, that all right. So cut wire came off. Let's see this grommet. Not actually bad. We'll try to reuse that grommet. Try to reuse that. And then this is the plug end, and I need to be observant about that. So this is a light. I need something to write with. That's what I need. Alright, something to write with, something to write on. We got a plug here, and it's got 3 blades, like so, and the 3 screws are connected onto the blades like that. So yeah, okay. 3 blades connected onto the screws as such. So loosen the top straight blade, and I'm just calling it the top blade because it's the one that's not tilted the same as the others. Pull that screw all the way out. Which of these 3 wires I just loosened. Aha, we have a winner. So we push this wire up, pull it out from underneath that screw, and then tug it out, and this wire is, this is the common wire that was cut, so. All right, and then we'll start with this spot. Oh, come on. There we go. That is this wire, which is the lamp wire. And that was this plug, and then the last one here, when we loosen that off, it's going to come out, and that is the motor connection. Now the motor, these were soldered to get clamped on here. I need to write that down before I forget. There. Get our diagram now for when we put that back together, because I need to clean all this up, because these wires, since they were flexed so much, they really are disintegrating quickly. So I will clean all this up and measure the replacement wires for them, and then be back once I've got this cleaned up and I have the replacement measured wires and I'm ready to start reassembling.